You are allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress. I had the privilege of speaking to Edwin Lazo Salvador, which is my boyfriend, a counseling major who is working very hard to become a licensed therapist. He has a passion for helping others overcome their struggles, inner struggles, I shall say. Um, the purpose of this speech is to share the insights from Edwin about what it takes to become what it truly takes to be in the counseling field, how technology is reshaping that work, and why mental health deserves more attention than it gets. Today, like I said, as I said before, I'm going to be talking about the importance of communication skills in counseling, the effect of technology on communication, and why he chose this field, and what people misunderstand about mental health. So, to continue, the importance of communication skills in counseling. Why is that important? Well, Edwin is a counseling student, like I said, working very hard, and becoming a licensed therapist. That's a whole field surrounded by communications and how well you communicate with one another so you can understand that person. You have to communicate with another human being. He emphasizes that in counseling, communication is not a skill, it's a tool. You cannot build trust with another person if you can't understand the client's needs, and you can't guide them to their healing if you can't, talk to them. Here's a nice, good visual aid reference. Yep, amazing. According to Edwin, people talking out their feelings tend to feel a million times better than keeping it in. Just after that one conversation, they feel like they have released. He mentioned, 3 categories that are very essential. Active listening, being fully present, not just waiting to respond. Conflict resolution, very important because you're in therapy to hopefully resolve the conflict, helping clients work through that internal and interpersonal battles. Responsiveness, meeting the client's needs when they are emotionally in that moment. They're very emotional, so you got to respond well. You got to remember that tone. Oh my goodness. Sorry. Now we have talked about the importance of communication. Let's move on to the effects of technology on communications. There's positive and there's cons. The positive aspect is you're connected more. You have more opportunity to find a therapist. It's significantly easier to find help when you need help. Right at that second, I shall say. And you're more connected. You have more mental health platforms. Rather than feeling alone, isolated to yourself, the communication of technology, the technology allows you to find that help when you really need that in the moment. However, there's some challenges, there's some cons to that, there's always some cons. Edwin explained to me that the effects of it might be with technology is the effects of social media, which genuinely makes the job harder, and that is because social media chips away at people's confidence. You see new things on the internet, you grow envious, you grow jealous, you grow, I wish I looked like this person is bullying me because I look like this. Just overall negative thoughts that become into your mind, and it completely takes over people, which genuinely, when they seek therapy, their ego and their confidence is just torn down, which makes the job harder, I shall say. Okay, according to the National Library of Medicine, it says Among individuals with serious mental illness receiving community-based mental health services, a recent study found equivalent rates of social media use as the general population even exceeded 70 participants. So basically, people with mental health, there's a little visual. The people with mental health are significantly more on social media, which is terrible from a mental health perspective. It's not that great because negative thoughts are happening. Lastly, why he chose this field and what people misunderstood. I asked the question, why counseling? Out of everything there is, why counseling? When I asked Edwin that, his response was very meaningful actually, why he chose counseling. He specifically said he wants to be able to make that change, have that ability to change people, change their mindset, make people feel more heard, and help them with their battles. That answer stuck with me because it wasn't about fixing these people, but it was about walking alongside them, making them feel like they're not going through it alone, and that he was stepping through them through all the ways that he could, through all the battles, all the struggles. He's right by their side and he's not trying to change them. Edwin also said he wishes more people understood how real and how damaging mental health truly is. A lot of people graze over that. A lot of people may think it's not real. It is real, guys. I don't think anyone should be going through that kind of struggle. It is not something someone could just think their way out of, as he was saying. It's something that people misunderstood, and since they feel so understood, that's the blockage of people wanting to get help, because they feel like lonely and have this baggage that they don't want to take onto other people. And as stated by Edwin in this personal interview, he said, I wish they saw how real it is and how damaging it truly can be, which I agree. It can damage a lot of people's other lives and those around them. Here's another good reference. Oh, here was the last one also for the social media. And then here's that. A lot of people are, brains foggy from all the mental health they deal with. So today I shared 3 takeaway points from my conversation with Edwin. That communication is foundation, very effective for counseling. That technology is an opening door, while it also comes with, challenges like everything, little obstacles that always comes with opening a door. And that mental health is very real and a serious issue that more people need to take seriously. And the most important thing that I took away from talking to Edwin is that behind every person who is a therapist, they're helping someone fight these battles and fight these internal personal battles that is going on in their brain. A lot of people can't see the struggles that people deal with, and it takes a truly skilled communication person, and to help them go through that and help them feel heard. I started by saying that nearly half of people struggling with mental health never seek help, or at least so I thought it when I started this interview. Edwin is one of those people who wants to make a change, wants to make a difference within and change that mindset within people, because that is just not the case. Of course, it's going to take one conversation at a time, which, that is probably the most powerful thing anyone could do, because it's a reminder that communication skills are not just a class requirement, they are how we could show up for one another or just truly understand. Thank you.